Now, this is the single cut that is not a single cut.
Oh,
It's a special. We just decided it's going to be a little special for you guys on Paper Movies.
mhm.
Okay, Jeremy, how you doing?
Good. I'd like to thank Encyclopocalypse for sending me a copy of this.
Yeah, that's
Much
awesome.
appreciated.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, hopefully they'll start doing that to the whole Paper Movies crew for novelizations to get ahead of the game
Mhm.
on those novelization sales. We have this special book that we're going to talk about today. Probably my favorite movie and novelization. Um, that would be Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. This is
Mhm.
a novelization by Jeff Strand. Now, what's unique about this is it's like a new novelization.
It's just something Encyclopocalypse does
Yeah,
every so often. I did a review last year on Manborg.
I watched that review. Good review.
Yeah, and I actually interviewed the author and everything.
For this book, published this year, it's actually coming out officially August 14th on Amazon. So that's the day that you guys will be watching this.
Mhm.
So go pick it up. It's a it's a great book. It's written by Jeff Strand. Now the movie came out in 1978. It's a comedy. A lot of people
Ish.
comedy-ish. I think a lot of people thought it was a real film.
Yeah, because it's oh gosh, if we can get into real quick, Attack of the
Oh
Killer
yeah,
Tomatoes. It's the prime example of a comedy that isn't the comedy parts aren't that funny. It's just shot so incompetently and so weird, and that's what really is funny about it. It's such a bizarre movie.
it is. It is, and it's all about secrets, basically from the government and how they
Hmm.
backfire on the people.
And
And
also making fun of oh gosh, what was the president before Reagan? Um,
ooh, is it Carter?
yeah, Jimmy Carter, making
Yeah,
fun of Jimmy Carter.
yeah. It's a classic film, great comedy film in my opinion. I highly recommend that you go check it out. Um, but what I love about this book is it starts off with the mandatory sing along, the intro, the main theme to Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is written out here in the book, and this it takes place in 1978. 1978. I read present day in 1978 at the same time, so it's present day in 1978, and the tomatoes just start killing people
Hmm.
and they start growing. They
Hmm.
get big, they kill people, they eat people. And this film, when I watched it, I just randomly stumbled upon it on YouTube, watched it, and I thought, man, that is a really funny movie. And then I think it was like the next day, the same week, I saw that there was a novelization coming out from Encyclopocalypse. So I was like, I have to get this. And I picked up from their website the mass market paperback. Like it's part of their retro line, which is really
Hmm.
cool. Um, but what were some of your favorite parts about the story of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? Do you have
Some
a
of my
favorite
favorite
part?
parts, or some of my favorite jokes that are added to the
Just
novelization.
whatever you got.
Oh, the Bruce Lee. It's so stupid. Um, there's a whole sequence where the entire world's fighting the tomatoes, which is not in the movie because they did not have the money for that.
Right.
Which the battle scene in and of itself in the movie is pretty funny because it's clearly toys they're blowing up and stuff. But in the book, there's this whole sequence of the world's getting invaded by tomatoes. In fact, they do the same chapter twice because it wasn't epic enough.
Yeah, that was funny.
So it's chapter 22, then chapter 23 happens, and then you have chapter 22 Redux.
Yeah.
But in China, they thaw out Bruce Lee, and he fights all the tomatoes, and then they make a joke about Steven Seagal, who was not a thing yet.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think he was
there's
still.
there's a lot of I think there's quite a few things that are mentioned that like aren't in the time period that
Oh yeah, there's a whole
takes
joke
place.
about Lord of the Rings, and then they tried to backpedal to, oh, it's the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings animated movie, and they're like, that came out a month after this.
Yeah, yeah, and like one of my favorite parts is do you remember that in the movie there's the motorcycle race? There's a motorcycle race, and
Hmm.
it's a really quick scene
Hmm.
where the guy he crashes his motorcycle, he sees a tomato, and he's like, "Whoa, funky little tomato!" And then his girlfriend like walks over and sees him and just screams, and it's it. That's it. Move on to the next scene.
Hmm.
The chapter is so long in the book, it drags it out and adds so much stuff. It this book had me laughing out loud on many occasions. I just think it's pure genius. And like you mentioned right before we started recording, the fourth wall breaking
Hmm.
was
There's all
fantastic.
so much. I've never seen it. It's like the very best Deadpool comics, where Deadpool has like three voices in his head. He's
Yeah.
having conversations with all of them, which you find out later. Spoilers. He and this, I think it was either a superhero or it was a villain named Madcap. They blew up and disintegrated, and then Deadpool reformed with Madcap's ashes. So it's a totally different character. That's just one of the voices in his head. It's like that, but it's the author and the editor will just have a conversation periodically.
Yeah. Yeah. And even the author would like make notes and stuff and
Mhm.
like maybe that was a bad idea or something and it's a funny book and it adds so much more stuff like in the film. Um
Mhm.
like the scene close to the beginning of the movie, there's a helicopter crash
Mhm.
and it was like, okay, that was kind of a poorly shot scene.
Mhm.
There's some
Well,
jokes
it
that
was
are
an
caught.
actual accident.
Yeah, the helicopter actually crashes. And there's some jokes that are made about it, but they
Mhm.
don't really hit that well until after you read the novelization where it keeps going with this joke about the pilot and, like, one of the guys is like, "How's the pilot?" And he's like, "Who cares about the pilot?" And it just kinda keeps going on, like, the pilot's, like, waiting for help or something, and, like
Yeah,
and
they tell him to go back in the wreckage.
yeah, and, like yeah, he gets out, like, "Get back in there." It's just some funny stuff. Um, and I love the paratrooper.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the name of his character, but I just love that through the whole time, like after his introduction, he comes from the sky with his parachute. The whole time he's dragging his parachute behind him
I I
everywhere he
I
goes.
I like the Master of Disguise.
Yeah,
The whole tomato cannibalism scene is another one of my favorites,
yeah, yeah,
which is barely touched upon in the film.
yeah. It
I
gives it
I
does
don't wanna
give
spoil that.
yeah.
That's
There's a lot that I don't wanna spoil with the final
because we could just talk about every single joke in this, and we'd be here for, like, 2 hours.
a lot of it probably inappropriate for today's
Well,
audience.
they make light of that in the book,
They do, they
because
do.
there's an uncomfortable scene involving a reporter lady in the movie that just didn't age well,
Well, yeah, with
and
the
so
bomb.
they have, like, a rebuttal to that.
Yeah, and it's so, like, tastefully done. It
It's
doesn't, like
taste
you're not like, "Oh, they're trying to rewrite things," and, like, it's so funny.
No, yeah, it just makes light of it. And we say there's a lot added to this, but the audiobook, which I got sent a copy of, is only 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours?
Unabridged.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty
It's a
quick
short
getting.
book.
Yeah. I mean, the mass market paperback has a whole bunch of, photos from the
Hmm.
film. It's got movie stills, and it has, like, I think production photos. Yeah, behind the scenes photos. They're all black and white, which is awesome. Um, but man, the final, like, the big grand finale
Hmm.
that's, like, not in the film at all, like, how they everything gets resolved, it's totally different. The
Hmm.
book has it's, like, so entertaining, and then it's, like, full of action, the, whole bunch of helicopters and stuff, it's really cool,
Yeah,
but
because they didn't have money
yeah, didn't have the budget to film this stuff, so it was just kind of like everybody stomping on tomatoes in the film, and the song that plays
Oh,
that kills them.
Puberty Love,
Yeah, Puberty Love.
the worst song ever written.
Yeah, it's so funny. I highly recommend that people go pick up this book. I mean, if you want a good laugh, it's just a good time book.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
like, I'm interested in listening to the audiobook now.
you should. Highly recommend it.
So silly. We did this little introduction thing at work, and like people were talking about favorite books, and I put down Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Room got silent. Nobody talked about it, and I was like, "It's an awesome book," and everybody's like,
I don't get it. Yeah.
"I
Oh,
don't
no,
know."
I showed Gabby the film, my fiance, and she didn't get it. We ate some edibles and everything. She laughed at a few things, but
I
yeah.
love
Oh,
it.
the giant robot fighting the giant tomato
That
in
was
New York.
brilliant.
That
That was
was that
brilliant.
was great with the guy who's intentionally dubbed badly to make fun of the Toho Godzilla movies.
Yep. Yeah, that joke plays out pretty well in the film, and it worked excellent in the book. I was thinking about that when I got the book. I was like, that was one of my favorite things, like the
Mhm.
audio dubbing thing. I was like, how are they gonna do that in the book? And it just says like poorly dubbed. So I thought it was good. See, there was another thing that really stood out to me. Now I can't remember exactly what it was. Um, you think you mentioned it? The Mason Dixon, the guy's main character, one of
Mhm.
the main characters. His name's Mason Dixon, and I didn't understand the joke at first. And everybody, when he introduces himself, he's like Mason Dixon, and people are, just respond like the line. And I was like, "What is this? What are we talking about?" I didn't get it. And then finally, I looked it up, and it's like borderline in I think the East Coast between
Oh,
states.
is it? I didn't know. No, we're not East Coast people.
No, this is true. This is true. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much else to add other than you need to go
No,
pick
no,
this
go
story.
check it out.
So
That was pretty solid.
love the cover of that.
Yeah, I will
Yeah,
say it is different than any other novelization we've ever read.
that
And
that's true.
I can honestly say it's an experience. Sometimes it's a little much. Um, but it's a book that if you want to have a laugh, you're gonna have a few laughs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it doesn't take itself seriously at all.
No, no, like the little. There's like several little Timmies throughout the book too.
Oh yeah.
That was funny. So if you think Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is dumb, you're wrong. You need to pick up this novelization, read it, then watch the film, and see which one you guys think is better. Um,
I think the novelization's a lot better.
I do too. I do
It's
too.
really fun to listen to.
I'm gonna have to check it out on audio for
Mhm.
sure.
It's
But
fairly short and well worth your time.
yeah.
What would you rank it?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to give this an A plus. I
Okay.
gotta give it an A plus. It made me laugh. I thought it was hilarious. I kept reading stuff out loud to my wife, and she's like, "This is insane. This is an insane story." I was like, "You have no idea."
Yeah, it might be a 5 out of 5, I think, for me. There's nothing like it. That's the thing. I've never
Yeah,
read something, and it's not my thing to read a comedy book.
yeah, me neither.
And like it really surprised me.
Yeah, it makes me want to check out more of Jeff Strand.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so we recommend this one. You guys need to go pick it up, check it out. We've got Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull coming up
Ooh,
pretty
another
soon.
comedy.
Yeah, yeah, we'll talk all about that one here at the end of the month. So be sure to tune in for that one.
For sure, for
So,
sure. And check out, I'm coming out with a Moonraker single cut by Christopher Wood. So that'll
nice.
that'll be coming out soonish.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, that that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet.
Hmm.
Bye.
Bye.